Hi, this is Phil, and I'm here to tell you all about the Capes and Lunatics Patreon. Get early access to all of our interviews, including the monthly Chichester chats with writer and comic book legend D.G. Chichester, new episodes of classic Capes and Lunatics shows, including The Quantum Zone, This, That, or the Third, and many, many more specials, all completely uncensored. Access starts for $3 a month, full video when you pledge $5 a month. Check out the link in our show notes, or go to patreon.com/CapesandLunatics. Hope to see you there.
Batman. My favorite character.
I have analyzed that drop like holy scrolls, and I'm just like, I love the pause, Batman. My favorite character. That's right, kids.
Perfect.
Welcome back to another episode of We Are the Night. the Batman podcast. Sorry, got him while he's drinking. Anyway, that's right, it's the end of the month, kids. So I am Phil, and again, it's not that female lunatic, it's the male one. Azrael himself.
Swooping back into Gotham to talk about KnightsEnd.
I know it's hard to tell them apart, but yes, it's the male one. Not...
We are very, very similar.
Yes. So, but yes, kids, we're covering the first half of KnightsEnd this week. Batman 509, Shadow of the Bat 29, Detective Comics 676, Legends of the Dark Knight. Oh, what episode? Or is that 61, 62?
I think, maybe.
And Robin number 8. I know that.
Yeah. 5 issues in it. And a 10-issue story overall. KnightsEnd. That's right.
Yes, I did add, it's not a full issue, but next time to wrap it up, there is an epilogue to KnightsEnd, and was it Showcase 94 number 10? So I added that to the list too. But yeah,
nice.
Kind of shows you where Jean-Paul goes after that Legends of the Dark Knight issue.
Yeah, it's like a bridge between that issue and the Azrael number 1, Agent of the Bat number 1.
Wasn't Agent of the Bat number 1? No, they added that around issue 50. I don't know if there was sales or what, but they're like, yeah, let's.
Yeah. At first, it was just Azrael.
Right?
Yeah. Agent of the Bat. Yeah, I feel like that was issue 50. They added that on. I had laughed when they did that. I was like, oh, that's funny. They really wanted people to know that this was a Batman-related title.
Yeah, no. He works for Batman. Come read this, kids.
Yeah.
Oh, Russell. You tried to start a war with somebody. Azrael, DC's Moon Knight.
Oh, if Ray. Oh, man. Ray would love that.
Boy, you'd be in big trouble, Russell, if it wasn't for Marvel Snap.
Well, I don't think that Ray would listen to this. I don't think that Ray has any interest in KnightsEnd.
I don't know. I think he sneaks sometimes, but I you know what? I remember the days when Ray was so prolific. We used to get weekly feedback on the Quantum Zone when we covered Will and Matt did the Quasar podcast. Weekly feedback from Ray, but now it's all Marvel Snap and let's make some babies and Surprised he had a chance to make a second baby with all the Marvel Snap going on in the house.
What the F?
I'm convinced Phil says the wrong Marvel card game on purpose now just to mess with Ray. That's the joke, Russell! I'm glad it finally hit you in the head instead of going right over it. Jesus. Quick on the draw there, Russell. Hey, guess what? That drop I played at the beginning of the episode, Russell. That's sarcastic drop, Russell. Did you know that?
Batman, my favorite character.
See, it's not really his favorite character, but I just do that to annoy him. See? Oh, I wouldn't talk about bald heads, Russell. Jeez. Oh. So we all can't be wild hairy animals like Ray.
I'm always envious of Ray's hair.
Ray's a man beast.
Wild like an animal.
Like a koala. Hairy like a koala. Oh, you got me good, Russell. A bi beast. Oh,
The greatest Hulk nemesis ever.
I think Ray would do anything sexually at this point if you got him some Marvel Snap. You got any more of that Marvel Snap?
Fiended for it.
You don't know what he does in a back alley for more Marvel Snap, kids. Oh, Lord Russell, a Bawana beast. You're lucky he hates Batman. He's not going to listen to this. Bawana beast. It's Bat. You know what? You're lucky, Russell. This is Batman show, so
Ray's not gonna hear this.
I was waiting for that drop at some point. Yeah,
Because Ray likes it hard. And Ray likes it long.
exciting times to be a shrimp.
Exciting times to be a pimp. Sex on the mind.
Because he is Russell.
The hard master.
yes.
Speaking of ninjas, that's how we open up here on
Oh, that's a good segue.
KnightsEnd.
Yeah,
Yes!
yeah.
Been waiting for him to give me a good, there we go. Yes, Russell can spell, thank you. Hard. Yes.
Yeah.
The hard master. Rock hard Ray. Oh!
Got a new nickname for him.
I don't know. I still like the Sausage King.
Yeah. It's still the classic.
Sausage! It's fine having a sausage fest.
All right, so yes, that's where we begin KnightsEnd. In Batman 509, the Hard Master. The Hard Master. What is that? Where is he? Moved to Boston? Jeez. All right, Batman 509, KnightsEnd Part 1, Spirit of the Bat, from July 1994. Writer, Doug Mensch. Speaking of Moon Knight, Doug Mensch.
Here we go.
Penciler Mike Manley, inker Dick Giordano, colorist Adrian Roy, letterer Ken Brezenik, and editors Dennis O'Neil and Jordan B. Gorfinkel.
Gorfinkel Puckett. Esquire.
Lilith has a new alias. What she says, it's Cockrum, something Cockrum. Yes.
Cockrum Puckett.
Something, yeah. All right. Bruce Wayne is physically recovered from the night that Bane broke his back. Hale. His skills have not returned to their regular level, though, and he is not yet ready to become Batman again or even wear the symbol. He must train himself again to challenge Jean-Paul Valley for the mantle, and the only instructor who can do it properly is Lady Shiva. She agrees under the condition that he learns to perform the leopard blow, an instantaneous killing maneuver. After weeks of training, he regains his competence, but he is still not as good as he used to be. When Bruce refuses to perform the leopard blow for his teacher, she instead decides on a new challenge for him to prove his worth. The leopard blow sounds like something from Lilith or Justin's hard drive. Shiva wears a Tengu mask representing the spirit of the bat. She slays the armless master in his house of learning while wearing it. Before the fight, the master explains that his 7 disciples will attempt to avenge him if he is killed. Each of them great masters in their own right, and this is exactly what she wants. Well, he put up a good fight, but I don't know, you really can't hand it to him.
He didn't quite have a grasp on the
Well, yes, he got killed. He didn't win that fight, so he really can't pat himself on the back.
You gotta hand it to him. He put up a good fight. Oh, well, no.
You know what? You think we're being funny here, kids? I mean, even Mensch makes a joke. What is it? The master, when him and Shiva go at it.
Disarmed combat.
Like unarmed combat, yes.
Unarmed combat. Yeah. I was like, oh, man. He really went there. Okay.
All right. And this guy showed up before. I'm trying to remember where. It might have been, I think might have been the Catwoman annual. It's like the year one. I think he taught her. Yeah.
Wasn't he part of the League of Assassins at some point?
I can't remember, but yeah, I do believe he did teach Catwoman like some of her skills.
Yeah.
Because it was like in the year one story, which I'm assuming Mensch may have written.
I think he did. I know that he was writing the Catwoman title for quite a while.
Yeah, and I think it was in that annual. Yeah. Hello, dear. Quit making fun of me. All right. At their next meeting, Shiva instructs Bruce to wear the mask of Tengu and arrives at an address in Chinatown. He is immediately assaulted by one of the disciples, believing him to be the man who killed the armless master. Bruce defends the man, but it takes a great deal of effort and every measure of his skill. Okay, here's my problem. So no one thought to say, "Oh, hey, it was a woman in the mask," because I mean, I don't care how thick that mask is. I mean, you can tell Shiva ain't no man.
Yeah, it's an obvious difference in size too, because I mean, yeah. Heyo, there's some guys that kind of look like Lady Shiva.
Well, again, it's 1994, so I mean,
right.
You ain't no man with that chest, you know.
That's true, but I mean, under that ninja costume, I mean, you could kind of by a stretch of the imagination. But just the height difference.
The height, and Bruce is built like a linebacker.
I know that the build is so different. Like that was the thing that stuck out to me. It was like their body types are so different. How could anybody make that mistake?
I mean, she's just lucked out that none of them say, "Oh, man, woman." It's just like, "Oh, the person wearing that mask killed the master." It's like, okay.
Yeah, let's focus on the mask, I guess.
So yeah, kill the armless master. This is the weakest of the 7 he must fight before his training will be completed. After he leaves, refusing to kill the man, Shiva murders him anyway. Bruce also fights the second disciple, and this man is more skilled, but the fight ends faster now that he is more used to physical combat. That night, he stands atop the highest tower in Gotham City and remembers his first night as Batman, when he leapt off into the abyss without fear, but he finds himself still unable to make the leap again and goes back for further training. Meanwhile, remember our boy, Jean-Paul Valley's having struggles of his own. He is haunted by visions of Saint Dumbass and his father, each calling him a failure for his inability to adhere to either the ideals of Azrael or Batman. Robin watches him from afar and records his strange movements, unaware of the hallucinations. Jean-Paul eventually rids himself of the specters and tracks down some gun runners to a warehouse. These criminals formerly worked for his old nemesis, Carlton Leha, the man who killed his father. Batman shoots them up and sets the place on fire with his flamethrower, then flies screaming off into the night, determined to take his vengeance on Leha. Robin runs after him to prevent him from doing anything exceptionally crazy. Yeah, so low-level crazy is fine.
Yeah. Minimally crazy.
Yes. So what you think?
I love this one.
Yes.
I still have doubt the wisdom of Bruce Wayne in the grander scheme of things going to Lady Shiva for training.
Yeah.
For obvious reasons. But I like the whole idea of Lady Shiva's test, how she went after the sensei and murdered him and blamed it on Bruce or whoever Bruce was masquerading as at the time with the mask. And we have another good Doug Mensch story. Doug Mensch loves these stories where like there's a group of assassins that's after a single person, and they each have like different unique weapons and different unique skills and things. He's done that a few times off and on over the years, and I love it every time he does it. He even did it in the one of the Batman versus Predator stories that there was. He had a bunch of assassins that were tracking down Batman.
I mean,
which the Predator was then killing off on the side.
And I mean, again, only in fiction, but I do like it. I mean, it screams like old like kung fu movies and stuff, but it's like, oh yeah, 7 masters, and you have to, you have to fight him in levels of skill from the weakest to the strongest. Yeah. Although I don't think we get all 7 in this.
I was trying to do the math earlier because I read these earlier. I think we at least get 6.
Maybe, yeah, because Bruce kind of put, well, we're going to get there by the end of the episode, but yeah, it kind of stops it, yeah.
I laughed at a couple of points in this issue, though. One of them is Lady Shiva, just how heartless she is. There's this dude that's all chained up in front of her, one of the assassins, and she's like, "You merely sicken me. You are not even good enough to force your own end, and since your last act in this world was failure, you can pass into the next world in bondage and shame." And she just hangs him with his own chain.
Exactly.
Like, oh my god.
So speaking about goth emo, I mean, we're talking about Thanos over on Marvel Tales. I mean, Shiva is goth emo.
Totally obsessed with death.
Talk about lover of death, yeah.
Totally.
Okay, yes, I was right. The Armless Master was in the Catwoman Year 1 annual because it was shown that he was her martial arts teacher. You ready for this? I had forgotten about this. Where is this?
And that was with the other guy, too, that appeared in her series, right?
Hellhound. Yeah.
Hellhound.
Yes.
Yeah.
But the Armless Master, oh my god, is the brother of the Legless Master. They fought together in the Thai fighting circuits in their youth. Oh my lord. Modern comics would never.
I know. And they would never even dare. I've got to go back and read that now.
The Armless and the Legless Master.
Wow. And then another part that had me laughing was Robin spying on Jean-Paul having an epic freak out just in the middle of the night on top of some random rooftop in Gotham. He's just screaming.
I'm trying to remember because I read most of these together for this reread. And I'm like, it's either this issue or one of them. He's like, is he doing Tai Chi or something? Because he's like flailing around at those hallucinations and stuff.
Yeah, what's he doing? Yeah. I loved the callback, though, to the Sword of Azrael miniseries with Carlton.
Who we're not going to see in KnightsEnd, but he will reappear in the Azrael.
He does reappear in a big way.
Next year, kids, he's going to show up.
Yeah.
Oh my!
Talking about him again.
You know what callback I liked when he's in the Batcaves? It's like the hallucinations are done, and he's like, "I beat Mikros. I beat this one." He says Jigsaw's name.
Jigsaw.
So we're putting
by that.
We're putting that Batman Punisher issue we covered in continuity here. At least Mensch trying to.
Right. Because he could have mentioned anybody.
Oh, yeah, there's so many. But
Trigger Twins or Gunhawk or any of those other people.
He mentioned Jigsaw, yep.
Jigsaw. I was impressed with that. I thought, okay, I like that. Very nice. Yeah, I really enjoyed this issue. And the art was great. Mike Manley is fantastic. He's superb. And I really wish that he had stayed on this title for longer.
Mm-hmm. I do. Oh, yeah.
I like the whole sequence of Bruce going to the rooftop and kind of pausing at the edge, but he's not quite there yet with his confidence. And I like how that theme recurs over the next few issues in the crossover. I like that. It's cool. It's a smart story mechanic here because he's obviously he's building himself back up again, and that's mentally as well as physically. So.
I mean, it
makes sense to me.
That's why these crossovers in the 90s worked, is because, like, the thing I don't think, they do now as much is, like, back in the 90s, like, when you had, characters like Superman and Batman had 4 monthly books, like, I believe at, the beginning of every year or at the end of the year, for they would all the teams would sit down and plot out, like, the coming year and be, the events, and they're like, okay, you're getting part 1, and and then we'll do, this one gets part 2, and we'll do this here, and they plotted out the year pretty much.
Yeah, they'd map it all out, or at least maybe a 6-month thing. Maybe they do it every 6 months or so,
or at least like the big, like crossovers like this where it goes through every book. Yeah,
right. Yeah.
But I can't remember if he says it in the first or thinks it in the first issue or not. But there is that one. There's a one point where he's standing on that rooftop and it's like, can't have fear jumping off there. God hates a coward and stuff. And yeah,
he's still got a long way to go, and you can tell that in this issue. He's not there yet.
And was it this issue or not? There was one issue where he's standing there and you just see Azrael, you see Jean-Paul just like jumping, he's like, oh, he's done it,
Yeah. He's Jean-Paul's just kind of shouting in the middle of the night. Death is too good for you, demon. He's just kind of swooping around Gotham, just shouting in the middle of the night.
Mm-hmm.
Bruce is like, oh, man, yikes.
All right, ready for part 2?
Yes.
All right.
Shadow the Bat.
Yes, kids. This part 2, Shadow the Bat, Batman Shadow the Bat 29. Again, July 1994. Manimal Proving Ground. Writer Alan Grant, penciler Brett Blevins, inkers Paul Smith and Brett Blevins, colorist Adrian Roy, letterer Todd Klein, and editors still Dennis O'Neil and Jordan B. Gorfinkel. Manimal, the third disciple of the Armless Master, is on his way to Gotham City to seek vengeance, while Bruce Wayne trains upon the grounds where they will meet in battle later that night. As the sun sets, Manimal sees a hawk take a bat in midair. A possible omen? Night comes and Robin, unable to come up with answers about the medallion of St. Dumas, goes to Bruce's city apartment. They are joined by the greatest hero in the DC Universe, Nightwing, and Bruce informs them both about the Order of St. Dumas, Azrael, and the system. Nightwing makes his feelings known for Bruce's selecting Jean-Paul over himself in a playful manner, as he usually does. Nonetheless, Nightwing and Robin agree to follow Jean-Paul and report all his activities to Bruce. Along the way, both men subdue a gang fight. Jean-Paul, still suffering hallucinations from St. Dumas, contacts arms dealer Rudy Elzen as a buyer of weapons and tells him to meet him alone. Batman confronts Rudy and inquires about Carlton Leha, but Rudy tells him it's been months since anyone has heard about him. Rudy, however, did not come alone, and quickly several of his men get the jump on Batman. However, he quickly recovers and slices Rudy's ear in half and inquires again about Leha. But again, Rudy swears he knows nothing of his whereabouts. In the meantime, Bruce returns to the fighting ground, donning the mask of Tengu. Manimal will set up a trap in the form of fallen logs, which take Bruce by surprise. An intense battle takes both men to the river, but Bruce's skills prevail, and he comes out victorious. After the battle, a bat is seen taking a moth in midair. Bruce heads to the top of Wayne Tower and remembers all those years ago of his first jump from the building. He feels confident, but wisdom tells him he's not ready to return. Not yet. All right, thoughts?
Love this one too. Again, we have some gorgeous artwork. This time from Brett Blevins.
Oh yeah, I love Bruce just like running, running the obstacle course, basically running on the falling rolling logs and stuff. And
yeah, that whole sequence at night with him and Manimal was so good with the rolling logs and stuff. There were a couple of really amazing full page spreads in that sequence as well.
Yeah, I think they're doing a good job of showing his skills are starting to come back and stuff. Mm-hmm. And
definitely, and it's a nice variety of different tests too.
Yes,
I like that. He's a kind of in this one. He's kind of out in the woods. He's out in the middle of the wilderness, in the middle of nowhere, having this one-on-one duel with this guy. I really enjoyed that, and I loved the other two stories too. We had a great little story with Nightwing and Robin,
mm-hmm.
which was fantastic, with those two kind of palling around a little bit and having some nice conversations, and then beating the hell out of some punks. There's a part too that still makes me laugh. There's a couple of panels where they're fighting this one dude by a seesaw.
Oh,
they use the seesaw to knock him out. It's so great. But I just love that whole little, even though it's only 2 or 3 pages, I love that little fight. It's so great to see Nightwing and Robin together.
I
just love that.
It's just Jean-Paul being Jean-Paul, when he meets Rudy and, he's standing around and all of a sudden he's just picked up off the ground. He's like, I sit alone, Rudy!
Yeah. And his goons start dogpiling on him, and there's another great full-page spread with him getting attacked by all of them, and there's one dude that takes a sledgehammer to the building. That's a fantastic page. Brett Blevins really knocked this issue out of the park. My God, it's so good. And of course, a great Alan Grant script as well.
Mm-hmm.
Some great dialogue here. We also have a nice refresher, I guess you could say, of sorts on the system and Azrael and all that stuff for some people that might not know about that.
No wonder he's going nuts. They show him when he wakes up in the cave, he's sleeping. It's basically just like a mattress on the floor, on the floor of the cave. It looks like. I'm like, really?
And sleeping in his armor, Like he's not taking a single piece of that armor off. I'm like, oh man, he must stink in there. Yikes.
Yeah, that can't be that comfortable. And again, it's like, it's stupid. It's like there's a mansion above your head. Why don't you go sleep in one of the like 20 bedrooms that are in that house?
Yeah. Even though it's going to take at least a half an hour to peel all that armor off, you should put the effort into it and do it, Jean-Paul Valley, and then take a shower, take a shower and wash some of the nast off, and then go sleep in that gorgeous California King bed.
Exactly. And it's I love after the hallucination in the cave, he's like, it has to be some trick of Bruce Wayne's. I mean, he's really off the deep end now.
Yeah, he is. This is total paranoid.
Yeah. Was there a biscuit alert in this issue? I mean, we do get shirtless Bruce Wayne doing chin-ups.
Yeah, I love that. Yep. And he's got the towel around him. Oh, yeah, that's some good stuff.
Uh-oh, biscuit alert.
Yeah. Bruce is looking good. Yeah, he's healing up nicely. Yeah, I love this issue. This is another one that I really love in the story. And again, at the end, we get a nice scene with Bruce at the edge of the roof.
Oh yeah,
the rooftop there. Yeah, so good.
All right, so should we? Oh yeah, I love that flashback, like in the red and stuff, when it's like him as Batman jumping off that roof.
Yeah, and he's got the classic costume.
Yeah,
with symbol.
It's just like
and we also get another beautiful cover, a painted cover by Brian Stelfreeze of Saint Dumbass, kind of like stabbing Asbats with like this mystical sword. I love that cover so much.
All right, ready for the next part?
Yeah, Detective Comics.
Yep, Detective Comics 676. From July 1994. Too many ninjas. Writer Chuck Dixon, penciler Graham Nolan, inker Scott Hanna, colorist Adrian Roy, letterer John Costanza.
Cool.
I can't stand it. Editors this time Scott Peterson and Darren Vincenzo. All right. Nightwing and Robin sneak into the Batcave in order to set up surveillance devices to monitor all of Jean-Paul's activities. While looking around, Nightwing questions Robin why Bruce would choose Jean-Paul to be Batman. Robin defends Bruce as not being in the right frame of mind when he made the decision and that Dick wouldn't want the job anyway. Nightwing admits he wouldn't, but if asked by Bruce, he would, no questions. A sound in the main storage chambers reveals Harold, who takes them to his workshop hideout and shows them the Bat subway rocket, explaining how Jean-Paul could be gone, but the Batmobile still inside the cave. The introduction of Harold, Ace the dog, and various other changes brings a sadness to Nightwing as he feels the cave is no longer home. Meanwhile, Batman stakes out an unauthorized arms transaction on the streets. He quickly subdues everyone and asks the money man about the whereabouts of Leha. Before the man can answer, Jean-Paul suffers another hallucination of St. Damas. Batman takes one of the buyers and asks who sold him the arms. The buyer doesn't know for whom he bought them from, but gives Batman the guy who fixed the deal. The fixer, named Candy, takes Batman to the dealer, but the dealer has been murdered by torture as if being interrogated. Jean-Paul is convinced it's Leha. He returns to the Batcave only to be tortured again by hallucinations of St. Damas as Nightwing and Robin watch his psychotic state of mind. Bruce finds himself atop the Wayne Tower again, reminiscing. He dons the mask of Tengu and awaits the night's test. He encounters a pre-endurance test in the form of 5 ninjas who try to push him to his death. They fall, but Bruce lands next to his next test, the 5th Master. They fight in the middle of rush hour traffic. The Master's failures to preserve the innocent drivers is enough for Bruce's protection of the drivers to overcome the Master. However, he has no time to rest as the 6th Master emerges from a car. Bruce is about to be conquered again when the 6th chain weapon hooks onto a passing truck, dragging her down the road and knocking her unconscious. Bruce knows he was lucky, and luck won't help him with Jean-Paul. All right, so thoughts?
There were a couple of things that I didn't like about this, and one of them was Nightwing talking about, oh, this place doesn't feel like home anymore, and I felt like thinking, why? Because you've got Harold here and Ace the dog, and like this little like tunnel that goes to the subway and a couple of other changes. I mean, I get the whole idea of Azrael has made this place really cold and sterile, and like this doesn't feel welcoming anymore. But there are a bunch of changes that had been made before that point, like Harold and Ace and like that stuff. How does that make it not home anymore? I don't get it.
I mean, maybe it's just that there were all these changes and no one told, like Bruce or Tim, no one told him about all these changes, maybe, and maybe that's the reason.
No, maybe.
And again, Alfred's not around at this point, so maybe that's
true. I guess I just assumed that Nightwing, that Dick knew about Harold and Ace, like from years prior, from just being back and forth a little bit.
Well, pretty much like he really had this is like his big return to the book. This is like when he's left the Titans book, and they're introducing him back into the Bat books. He hasn't been around a lot because like what is it, Batman, was it 416 or something, where it's like the post crisis or thing with Jason Todd. He's like, yeah, no one took you. He's like, Bruce, you never told me you took in the new kid. He's like, I just basically read about the new Robin in the newspaper, and
But I guess I just assumed that he met because there was that story with Two-Face and Tim, right?
Yeah.
And that had Nightwing in it too. I guess I just assumed that he met Harold and Ace in that, but maybe I'm.
Well, was that during Prodigal? Because that comes after this.
Prodigal,
yeah. That comes after this. So yeah,
after this. Okay, I'm getting that mixed up.
Because we do KnightsEnd and we jump right to 0 Hour, and then as soon as 0 Hour's over, Bruce takes another break. But this time, he has Dick to fill in for him for 3 months. Yeah,
it has a little vacation. He's like, I need another vacation. But that was my only quibble. I remember thinking, why doesn't it feel like home to you?
Yeah.
Sense to me.
But page 2, like when the scene when they're in the Bat Cave, there's a bunch of Easter eggs. Like in that, there you see him walking past all that stuff.
Oh yeah.
We got Bruce Wayne's portrait from Detective Comics 42. The Hindu idol Ruby statue from Detective Comics 35. Hood of the Mad Monk from Detective Comics 31.
Yeah, Mad Monk.
Gavel of Judge Clay from Detective Comics 441. A bulletproof vest from Batman 12, the Diary of Dana Dry from Batman 14, and giant dice from Batman 44.
Love it.
And then somewhere there's a newspaper headline: "Gunhawk captured." We all know what that's referencing.
Oh yeah, that just happened, as a matter of fact.
And I guess there is a reference to Jack Kirby on a cereal box.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, they packed some Easter. Graham Nolan must be packed some Easter eggs in here.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love the whole gun sale. Just in the middle, was this like an abandoned lot or something? And John Paul just like swooping in and just starts firing those bat darts at everybody.
And he's got the one dude who's attempting to interrogate, but then he has a hallucination of Saint Dumas right in the middle of it, and starts shooting blades at him. He's like, die! The guy just runs off. He's like, oh my god.
That guy can't run fast enough, yeah.
Yeah. Imagining yourself being in his position and that happening, I think any one of us would do that.
And you're talking about that the last issue of Jean Paul not taking that armor off or showering or anything. They're just like... when Harold takes him back to his little workshop, Nightwing's like, it looks like he's been living on a year's supply of almond fudge bars.
Almond fudge bars? Yeah, he's got cases and crates of them. Poor Harold.
I've been living the last year. Just eating candy.
Yeah. Probably after that, he'll never look at another almond fudge bar the same way.
But yeah, when John Paul's interrogating that guy, takes him to that abandoned building and just leaves him, and he's like, I'm going to check what you told me. He's like, if you didn't lie, I'll be back. He's like, but, try to stay awake, for all the rats in the bill.
Rats, yeah. And then the cops find him later, and the dude is just about lost his mind.
Oh, yeah. You see the Batmobile driving away, and the guy just screaming, ah!
Yep. In the morning, and it's the dead of night, so this dude's got several hours to wait. Yeah.
And I love Jean Paul tracks down Candy, that other guy, to the gentleman's club, the stripping post.
Oh yes, very nice. Very nice.
I love Jean Paul lands in that car and just like He's like, which one of you is Candy? Then he shoots the bald guy. He's like, well, let me guess, you look like a Candy.
You look like a Candy. Yeah.
This bald guy's cigar hanging out of his mouth. He's like, you look like a Candy.
Shoots him right in the hand with his blade.
Oh, yeah.
And then we have a great fight between Bruce and that ninja master in the middle of rush hour traffic.
In the middle of the highway, yeah, because they're like fighting on the yellow line, yeah.
Yeah, I love that whole sequence. That is really, really well done. And the fact that we have another ninja master who appears right after that, I really enjoyed that too. That was a nice little surprise.
But that's so funny as they're fighting, and Bruce is like, can't place this down. He's going over all these styles in his head, and he's like, candy analysis, Bruce, telling himself, this guy's just trying to push you in front of a bus.
Right. And he has to fight dirty, too, which I like. He grabs the grate of the car.
Oh,
the grill, and he grabs a piece of that and jams into the dude's arm. Yeah, sometimes you got to fight dirty in order to survive, Bruce.
You know, once again, saying, hell is for the fearful. God hates a coward.
Yep.
But yeah, then he realizes, the next master who was driving that car they landed on, because he's like, anyone else would have stopped, lady.
Yeah. She's got another one of those whip chain flails like the other guy had in the Batman issue.
And he starts, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Swings it at the worst possible moment.
Caught on that truck, yeah.
Yeah.
But Bruce is saying, Shiva's training's working, because most of his... all his moves are closer to second nature, so it's coming back.
Yeah, he's slowly getting better, yeah. And she's watching everything from afar. Yeah.
Yeah, and once again, yes, the issue ends with John Paul in the cave with another hallucination, and Nightwing and Robin watching it, just like... I love Nightwing. I'll tell you one thing, Bruce has his work cut out for him.
Yeah. This is a good issue. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, this whole thing is good.
That's really the only problem I had with it was Nightwing talking about how it didn't feel like home.
Yeah.
I didn't understand that, really. But
again, I think that's just like writer shorthand for, oh, boy, look at all the changes that have happened since Dick was Robin and stuff. So.
Yeah. Right.
All right. Ready for the next one?
Yeah. Legends of the Dark Knight.
Yes, Batman Legends of the Dark Knight, number 62 from July 1994, of course. KnightsEnd, Part 4, Devils. Once again, writer Chuck Dixon. This time pencils Ron Wagner, inkers Ron McCain, colorist Digital Chameleon, letterer Willie Schubert, and editors Archie Goodwin and Jim Spivey. Sean Paul sets out, determined to find Leha, while being observed by Nightwing and Robin. Bruce, wearing the mask of Tengu, descends most carefully from Gotham Tower to meet the final master. Batman returns to gather more information from the arms dealer fixer, Candy. The fixer tells him the gunrunner who killed the dealer hangs out at the Gotham Navy Yard. Nightwing and Robin decide to find Bruce to tell him about Jean Paul's actions. Batman arrives at the Navy Yard. After subduing a couple of thugs, he quickly becomes ambushed by a helicopter, which he promptly blows up. Suddenly, a figure in a sophisticated biotechnical armor emerges and gets the jump on Batman. Batman eventually defeats the villain and severely burns him. Near the Wayne Tower, Bruce encounters another endurance test of various ninjas, which leads him to the final master. Both are equally matched, carefully observing and studying one another. Bruce finally gains the advantage, but realizes that even though this is the last of the 7 disciples, more will keep coming. He knows that Lady Shiva really wants him to kill for her pleasure alone. Bruce delivers the fatal leopard blow to the Master, just as Nightwing and Robin arrive, just in time to see that Bruce Wayne has killed a man. No!
No, how could you?
So, yes, kids, this issue ends like a little Hellfire date with a dead body.
Yes. Yeah.
So, yeah, what you think?
I love the art in this one. Ron Wagner is just stellar. My God, he's so good. I wish that he had. I wish he had done a longer run. I think he only did a handful of issues, and I wish that he had stayed around longer because he's just fantastic. I like in this one because for the last few issues, Jean Paul has basically waded his way through anybody that has gone up against him. He beat Abattoir, he beat Gunhawk, he beat all of these kind of gun runners and thugs and stuff. He hasn't really had a challenge. But then there's this dude in the cybernetic armor all of a sudden on the ship that starts smacking him around, and all of a sudden he's got a challenge again. So I liked seeing that again, because for a while it was just like, okay, well, what is going to be a challenge for Jean-Paul now that he's got this massive suit of armor with these guns all over it, and flamethrowers and things? These minor criminals aren't going to stand a chance against this.
Oh, yeah, especially, these scenes, it's just like him using that flamethrower on this ship, and then the helicopter shows up, he shoots that down.
Yeah, just blows up the helicopter, which I loved, because that's a total Azbats thing to do.
Because remember, he has that big thing on his back holding all those, like, razor bats and stuff, because it even says, heads-up display reads 600 rounds left.
600 rounds!
He used however many to take down a helicopter, an attack copter, but it's like, only 600 rounds left.
That ought to do it. Yeah, I love that. Yeah, that's fantastic. But yeah, then he gets beat up by the dude in the cybernetic armor.
Oh yeah, it's literally like a measuring contest, because the guy shows up, he's like, I like your armor, mine's bigger.
Mine's bigger. It's the best that money can buy. But even that still wasn't enough.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But yeah, that final master fight in Bruce, I mean, the guy, he took out his weak point, the throat. He had a nylon plate implanted in his windpipe. That's why he like basically whispers.
Yeah, that's hardcore. I was like, oh man,
Well,
that's devotion to your job.
Final master, you know.
Yeah, I guess. But I think that there were supposed to be 7, right? I think we skipped one.
Maybe, yeah. As I was doing the
we've only
summaries, I
seen
was like,
6.
wait a minute. Yeah, I'm trying to think. Unless we were supposed to get 2 in the Shadow of the Bat issue, because we only get 1 in that issue. That Manimal one was he the only one in that?
Manimal was,
issue?
I think Manimal was the only one in there, and there were 2 in the other 2 issues, 2 each.
Yeah, because I remember reading this the first time. I kept waiting for the Armless Master's assistant. Was it Song Lee or so? I was waiting for her to be like the final master or something.
Oh yeah, right, Song Lee.
But I don't think we see her again in this story.
I don't think so either. Yeah,
she's basically just gives them their assignment. Yeah, go kill whoever's wearing that mask.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel like we skipped one of the Ninja Masters, unless maybe there was an extra one in that Batman issue that I forgot about.
But yeah, that dude in the armor is like, was giving John Paul a hard time, and then he's like, I'm going to twist your head off, and that's when John Paul just like loses it and just like fires everything at him and tackles him off the thing. Yeah,
they go landing into that pit with all of the grenades and bombs and things.
Yeah, because he puts that arm at him, and the guy's like, no! And he sets off that flamethrower and just boom.
The whole ship goes up.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's Azbats in a nutshell, the nuclear solution.
Oh, yeah. I don't know if he wasn't aware, he just didn't care, but he's like, yeah.
I don't think he cared. At that point in his mind, that guy was pretty much a surrogate for Carlton Laha, and he was he was determined to end this guy by any means necessary.
And then Bruce Wayne killed a guy.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah, I love this issue. The art. I love Ron Wagner so much. I can't say.
Even the cover is like one of the best covers out of this whole thing. Yeah.
Yeah, love the cover. Mike Mignola. Yeah, we in all five of these issues tonight. We've got some smashing artwork. 5 different artists, and they're all great.
Oh yeah, because like the first one was Kelly Jones, and there's a bunch of good ones. All right, should we get to the last issue?
Yes, Robin.
Yes, Robin number 8. All right, so Robin number 8 from again July '94. Death's Door. Writer, once again Chuck Dixon. So he's written 3 in a row here. Penciler Tom Grummett. Inker Ray Chrising, colorist Adrian Roy, letter Albert de Guzman, and editors Jordan B. Gorfinkel and Dennis O'Neill. Bruce Wayne has delivered the fatal leopard blow to his final opponent just as Robin and Nightwing witness the scene. They are both appalled, whereas Lady Shiva, who also witnessed the scene, is delighted and pleased to have tainted the name of the Dark Knight. Shiva takes the mask of Tengu, but not all is not all as it seems as the man starts recovering, and Bruce explains that this was all a ruse to satisfy Shiva. After the situation is cleared, Bruce decides it's time to set things right. Meanwhile, in his quest to find Leha, Batman has gone on a rampage against some members of the Gotham organized crime, creating troubles for the corrupt businessman Penn Selkirk, who has come to the conclusion that Batman has to be dealt with. As this happens, Shiva confronts the ninjas wearing the mask of Tengu and informs them that their quest is over, beating them all. With all the circumstances and events happening in Gotham, the Gotham City Police Department find themselves at a loss, and even Commissioner Gordon has begun to lose hope. When night comes, Nightwing and Robin start preparing the Batcave as Bruce decides to finally return. At that same moment, at Blackgate Penitentiary, the special area for the inmates from Arkham Asylum has become unusually active, and Bane finally recovers from his catatonic state in time to realize that Batman is back. Nightwing and Robin are much satisfied to see the real Batman back in action, but the Dark Knight knows that the fight for Gotham is just about to begin.
Mm-hmm.
And again, it was kind of like taking it as even issues, but I think this was a good cliffhanger to end part 1 on.
Definitely.
Bruce putting that costume back on, which again, that last page, that is a beautiful page by Tom Grummett.
I love that. Yeah, Tom Grummett's so fantastic.
Bruce putting that suit back on, yeah.
Yeah, I love it. That could be a poster by itself, I think.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I love Tom Grummett so much.
Oh, yeah.
He was on Robin for quite a while, but this first year is just so good. So good. I love it.
Oh, yeah, I love his work. Yeah, here, the Superman stuff he did in this time.
Yeah, Superman, Superboy, he did for a while.
Yeah.
And I mentioned to you on another episode, he did one with Kurt Busiek called The Power Company. Mm-hmm. That lasted a couple of years. That one was really good too. Yeah, Tom Grummett's fantastic. And this moved the story along pretty good. There were kind of places where it did kind of feel like a filler issue, but I feel like they kind of needed to have that.
Yeah,
at this point in the grander story of things.
Well, again, it's kind of a transition. It's like this first half was Bruce, getting his skills back and fighting the ninjas and stuff. So it's like, part 2 is definitely going to be Bruce versus Jean Paul.
Yeah, right. And then we had a brief kind of 2-page resolution to the ninja story, where you had the rest of the ninjas kind of, where's our boss? Where's our boss? And Lady Shiva was like, here's your boss. Come and join him. That was nice. And that kind of ended that whole thing with the bat mask and all that stuff.
Yeah, that I love the art on that fight scene is great too. Just some of those panels, it's just in shadow and you just see the silhouettes and stuff. Yeah,
she's just totally mowing down all these ninjas barehanded because she's Lady Shiva.
Yeah. And again, it's comics and suspension of disbelief, but I'm just like, Shiva is such a warrior and intimate in the ways of killing, but I'm like, wouldn't she check that last master to make sure Bruce didn't pull something like this to just make it look like he killed the guy?
Yeah, I feel like she would have known that he wasn't really dead.
Or is it just plausible deniability where Shiva maybe is just getting tired of this too and just like, okay, I'll let him use this excuse and pretend I don't know he killed this guy, didn't kill this guy.
That was kind of how I reasoned it. I was like, she's probably getting bored of this now. She's ready to hang up this bat mask and move on to her next death conquest, whatever that might be. So I think she gave him a free pass with that. Yeah. I think the fact that to her that he was willing to go through with it up to the extent that he did was enough of a gesture, enough of a symbolic and spiritual gesture that Lady Shiva gave him a little shred, a little kernel of her respect, which was enough.
Because when they were talking about him killing, and she says, "You're worthy of my notice," and he's like, "Oh, now I face you, killer against killer," and she's like, "One day," she's like, "For now, revel that you are the master of Gotham, but not the world."
Yeah.
And disappears.
Well, look out, Lady Shiva. Your daughter's going to come gunning for you in a few years, lady.
Exactly.
Yeah. I love Cassandra. Oh.
I remember the first time I saw Lady Shiva was during Death in the Family.
Oh, yeah.
When Jason Todd's trying to track down his real mother, and like Shiva's like one of the names on the list.
Yeah. Oh, man. So good. She's a great character. I love Lady Shiva so much.
I love that one page where the kids are like trying to break into the Batmobile. The kid's like, yeah, just throw that brick, break that window, it'll be ours. And then John Paul just shows up and they go running.
Yeah. I would too.
Yeah.
I was also surprised to see the guy in the armor from the previous part still alive in Gotham Harbor. They drag him out of the harbor and he's all barely alive. He's talking about fire and Batman and stuff. I thought for sure that he was dead.
Oh, yeah, because even Montoya is telling Bullock, like, we're out of our league in this one. Yeah, because the guy, all he can say is basically, fire, Batman.
It's practically catatonic beyond that.
But yeah, I do like this one panel when they're in the cave and Bruce just appears at the top of the steps, like, let's get to work.
Yeah, and it's all shadowed.
Hey, just the body language, you can tell that's Batman. Yeah. That ain't Bruce, that's Batman. He's back.
Yep.
I love this scene when Jean Paul's attacking those guys. They're trying to get away. Wait, the flamethrower's going, so everything's on fire. One guy tries to pick up his gun off the ground, but again, it's so hot from the fire. It's just like
it burns his hand. I love that little detail because, I mean, of course, if you had a bunch of flames around, your guns are going to be white hot to the touch. It totally makes sense.
But yeah, I love when we do that symbolic thing where it's like all of a sudden Bane wakes up and he's like, he's back. You know, he has returned. Yeah,
Bane has his epic freak out in his cell. I love that.
That's so funny. It's Blackgate is on Arkham because like they show the Riddler and the Riddler's like, hey, can I ask you a question? The guard's like, shut up.
Shut up. He has returned. Oh, I love it.
And again, that last page, I love that last page.
It's so good, isn't it? Yeah. And you've got Tim and Dick there to bear witness to the return of Batman.
And I mean, it hit doubly hard too because again, the art is so good. But it's like it's been how long since we've seen Bruce in that costume?
That's true. Well, it's been about a year, hasn't it? Yeah, since Batman.
Well, he got his back broken in 497. Yeah, so. Yeah, it's been about a year. Yeah,
it's been roughly a year. So.
Well, he did wear that costume for 2 seconds. Remember when he was in England and he was trying to fake out Hood? Yeah, he's like propped up against the pipe or something. Yeah.
Yeah, but like full 100% Batman. Yeah, it's been about a year since we've seen it, and that was really what when they initially did this whole thing. I knew that it was eventually going to come back to that. I said, Bruce is going to be back in the costume in another year, or maybe a year and a half, 2 years. It depends on how successful Asbats is, I guess. But maybe they had planned it out to be just a year. They're like, we're just going to do this for kind of like with the Reign of the Supermen thing.
Yeah, it was kind of a pattern there where it's like, Reign of the Supermen lasted a year. Yeah, Nightfall and all that. Night Quest was a year. Yeah.
Yeah. It makes sense, and it's smart. I mean, in the grander scheme of things, it's smart because to me, absence makes the heart grow fonder. When you don't see a character for a while, or when they're not the same character, let's say, like in this case, Bruce Wayne wasn't Batman for a while. It's different, and when they return, it hits different. It's better. It makes you appreciate them more when they're used like that sparingly, or where they're taken away for a while and given a vacation.
Oh yeah, and again, it's Death and Reign. Death of Superman, Reign of the Superman. That sold so well. I think that was the marching orders. Like, we need more events. So
yeah, I bought the hell out of all that stuff. Out of Reign of the Superman and Nightfall. I loved it because it was something new and it was something different that they were doing.
Oh yeah,
and I knew that it wasn't going to be perfect, and I didn't have any aspirations or expectations that it was going to be perfect. But at the same time, I also knew that whatever changes that were happening weren't going to be permanent.
Oh, no, yeah.
Because I know they're not going to keep Superman dead.
Not forever.
They're not going to keep Batman's back broken forever. I knew all this stuff. I knew it in the very pit of my gut. I just knew it. I'd been collecting comic books long enough to know that wasn't going to happen.
Right.
So
Yeah,
I just
I
thought,
love.
well,
Yeah, I
in the
love.
meantime, I'm just going to enjoy the ride and, and see where they go with it. Yeah.
Like you said, I love all that Reign of the Supermen stuff and Nightfall. Oh yeah, anytime I go in the store, I'm like, "Where's the next one? Where's the next one?"
Right, exactly. Yeah, and personally, I love new characters. Like some people said, "Oh, they cluttered up. They added too many characters." I don't mind that as long as they use the characters well. Keep on bringing up new characters, and as long as they're interesting and unique, and if they're written well and have something useful to do, then keep on bringing the new characters up. It doesn't matter if they're spin-offs.
And it's so funny because it's like I remember when that sort of Azrael miniseries came out. They're like, "Oh, this character's going to be big. We can't tell you why, but this character's going to be. There's going to be big things going on with this character." Yeah,
trust us. He's going to be big. You're going to see a lot of him, whether you want to or not. Oh, and some people were mad. I remember reading the letters pages, and people were mad about this. Oh man, some people were waiting it out. They're like, "Oh, I can't wait for Bruce to come back." I mean, I get it. I understand why some people are frustrated, but I enjoyed it. I thought it was a great little roller coaster ride. Yeah.
All right, so yeah, that's part one. So anything else?
I think we just about covered it. We had great 5 great issues tonight.
Oh, yeah.
5 great stories, great scripts, great art, great covers on all the issues. Yeah, I can't think of a dud in the bunch of these. Yeah.
All right, so all right, kids, that wraps up November. Next month, yes, Lilith will be back next week. We'll cover Batman Noel to start your December.
Ooh, nice.
And then Batman Legends of the Dark Knight 190 and 191. And then the week after that, Batman Legends of the Dark Knight 192 through 196. I'm trying to remember. I think one, if not both of those, are Mr. Freeze episodes. So,
ooh, okay.
I think I was going for a winter motif there. But,
yeah.
And then we wrap up the year with KnightsEnd Part 2.
To the conclusion.
The year ends on KnightsEnd, kids. From Catwoman number 12. Yes, Catwoman gets involved here.
Yep.
Batman 510, Batman Shadow of the Bat 30, Detective Comics 677, and Batman Legends of the Dark Knight 63. And like I said, I did add the epilogue from Showcase 94 number 10.
Nice. I'm glad you did that.
Yeah. All to prepare you for when we cover the ongoing starting in January.
That's right.
Who, depending
over 100 issues of Azrael.
Yes, and depending on scheduling, we may have another co-host floating in and out of here for those Azrael episodes.
Yes. My co-host Russell from a bunch of my other shows.
That's right.
Yeah.
Wild like an animal.
Mr. Joker Nuggets himself.
That's right.
Where's the Joker Nuggets?
You may know him from his work such as
Where's the Joker Nuggets?
Or
you gotta rub that one in.
Yeah.
Or
no, I invented that, you dick. Over a year ago, you dick.
Or
teach me how to urinate.
Gotta
rub that one in.
You also got to do the Miller one too.
Oh, the one that scared Ray. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh wait, why is it not? Hold on, I'm not hearing anything. It's saying it's playing, but what the heck? I don't know. Something's wrong with that. I don't know what's wrong with it.
You overloaded it, Phil.
Maybe. Jeez.
There's so many drops.
Your
in
mother's
there.
a whore.
There we go. Yeah, I don't know what happened there. I never saw that before. It looked like it was playing, but I didn't hear nothing.
Yeah, we eventually got it.
You may know Russell from his attempt to try and fail to be a little Hellfire stand-in.
Your mother's a whore.
If anyone's a little Hellfire stand-in, it's Justin.
Superior puss.
Russell still gave a great effort, though.
Yes,
I love
yes.
that. It still cracks me.
But only one man is worthy of filling little Hellfire's shoes, and that's Justin there.
Giant-sized man thing.
Yes, with our similar appreciations, absolutely.
It's so salty. Tap, tap, tapping my way downtown.
All right, kids. So, yeah, send us your thoughts on all the upcoming stuff. Send us your thoughts on KnightsEnd Part 1. Or, again, send us your thoughts on the conclusion.
Send us your thoughts on Azrael as well, coming up soon.
Part 1 was the tame version, kids.
Yes, you ain't seen nothing yet.
I mean, 7 ninja masters, fires, exploding helicopters. This was the tame part of the KnightsEnd.
Yeah. It only gets crazier from here on out, folks.
Like we said, Catwoman's starting to show up here. So, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Send us
Balance.
Jim Ballin, Catwoman. Yes.
Yep.
I have this hankering to play some basketball. Double dribble. Anyway, send us your thoughts. Email us, CapesandLunatics@gmail.com, or call the voicemail 614-382-2737. That's 614-38-CAPES. And remember, you can find all things Capes and Lunatics episodes, social media, merchandise, and the Patreon. Again,
join me in the Patreon Elite.
Yes.
Every month you get all the bonus episodes, all the good stuff.
Early Chichester chats, and again,
Yes.
at least one episode you will find nowhere else.
Uncensored.
Completely uncensored. Yes.
We should stress that.
You think Lilith Hellfire is wild on these shows? Wait, you should subscribe to the Patreon. You ain't heard nothing.
That's right.
So find all of that at tubespace.io/Capes and Lunatics Podcast Network. That's tubespace.io/Capes and Lunatics Podcast Network. All right. Speaking of wild, the king of podcasting himself, Justin. Of course, he's here last week of every month to talk Jean Paul Valley. You catch him on Electric Mullet twice a month with me and Tyler, talking all things Superman in order, pretty much, from John Burns' time on Superman. You can find him over on the Capes and Lunatics on Marvel Tales every week with me, as we discuss something different Marvel every week.
Yes, a smorgasbord of Marvel every month.
And also over there, once a month, me and Justin and Russell, who, once again, you know Russell, we're doing the Energon Universe podcast, where we're discussing all the new Transformer stuff coming out over on Image Comics. So check that out. You know Russell.
Wild like an animal.
But that is not all. That is not all of Justin's resume. Where else are you podcasting, Justin?
You can also find me and Russell over on Gamma Charge, the strongest podcast there is, twice a month, where we talk about the Incredible Hulk and the Sensational She-Hulk. We'll be covering the new comics of both of those as well in live episodes every month. And we have a Patreon page, so do check that out if you're so inclined. And also, Russell and I co-host Tomes of Evil, a comic book supervillain podcast where we do spotlights on supervillains. And on that channel, we have resurrected one of our subseries, Gone in the Form of Man, the Etrigan podcast, where we talk about DC's Demon, going all the way back to Jack Kirby's iconic original Demon series from 1973 and 4. And we are joined by Ray and Sparky on Predator and Prey, the Yucha podcast, where twice a month we talk about Fox's Predator in comic books, action figures, movies, and much more. And last but not least, my solo project, The Lost Library of Legends, where I talk about forgotten and undiscovered comic book series of the last 40 years or so. There should be about 3 episodes of that up by the time that this episode comes out, so do check that out as well.
Scream at!
I was waiting for that, Phil.
I'm a sucker for a guy with a powerful rod. Talking about meat is so natural for Lilith. Giant-sized man thing.
Just what I always wanted in a man.
All right, here we go.
Giant-sized man thing.
Just what I always wanted in a man.
It works.
It is one of the requirements. My favorite biscuit.
That's right, kids. You better be a farmer coming out that Justin, because you better have lots of livestock.
That's right.
Oh.
Well, that escalated quickly.
Alright, thank you for joining us. Again, Lilith will be back next week for Batman Noel, and Justin will be back in 1 month as we'll wrap up all this Night Quest and Knight's End, and
All this Asbat stuff.
get ready for Jean Paul to return to his Azrael roots next year.
Yeah.
Alright, let's take it back. Alright, let's call back. Go to the beginning of the episode. Ray, put down the Marvel Snap.
His ears are burning somewhere. They're talking about me and Marvel Snap.
But yes, as we learned tonight, kids, I honestly know that it's not Marvel Snap he plays, but it just sounds funnier. Alright, kids, come back next time, and remember, join us same bat time,
Same Bat Channel.
later the night.
The Batman Podcast.
Jean Paul plays that deadly game Snap.
DC Snap.